What's going on, guys? It's Grego Gallagher with Kinobody and the Road Trip podcast, and we have a transformation podcast today. We got on Ashley Bailey from London, and he went through in the last 9 months. He went through a remarkable transformation. You know, you pretty much cut down from 15 to 16% body fat all the way down to 8%, lower ab veins, chiseled face, the whole shebang. And you built some crazy strength in the process. In fact, you did something that very, very few people can do, and that is a one-arm chin-up. Is this hearsay or is this real say?
Hi, Gregory. Hi, guys. I'm almost there, like so close.
Like
Just
right
there. I'm holding it there. And I reckon shave off a pound or two, or when I get back on my car after my holiday, go bulking, I'll get it. I'm so close.
Okay, sweet, man. Well, we got a very fun episode for everyone today. Let's start from the beginning. Can you tell everyone a little bit about who you are? What was your fitness life like before?
Yeah, of course. So, typical guy, really, living in London. Went to university. I've always been an athletic guy, sporty guy. 100-meter sprinter at school, played rugby, and I'd always gone to the gym. I've been going to the gym when I was sort of 16 years old, but never really focused, just going because all my mates were going, trying to build up a bit of sporting strength. Went to uni, thought I was strong until looking back on these photos where I've posted on the transformation. Turns out I was pretty wrong, wasn't strong at all. And I really just, after leaving uni, let it go. So, it was a couple of years out of the gym, maybe going in, for a month at a time, spinning my wheels. I've never really been a huge fan of high workout pump workouts. So that's why your programs resonated with me so much, just because I read them. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
You like building the strength. You don't like just to have like the pump and no strength to go with it, huh?
No, my muscles just don't like it. Not a great long distance runner. Never have been. And trying to, do 20 reps, it kills me. I hate it. And so when I read your stuff and I was like, yeah, I can do 4 reps. So I'd always gravitated towards, 5x5 or 3x8. So I'd always gravitated towards those lower reps, but I'd never really taken it to the extreme that you have. And I'm starting to now, really focusing on getting those lifts up as strong as possible and just through progressive overload. So
yeah, you mentioned that you've been working out for a while, but during that time you weren't really able to see really impressive results. So if someone saw you, they wouldn't really think you're someone that really lifted or was dedicated in the gym.
No, right? Definitely not. I mean, I think we all walk around at uni thinking we're the bee's knees, but when it came down to it, no, wasn't strong at all. There was guys in the gym pushing a lot more than me. Still is the case, to be honest. But no, wasn't strong.
Your strength relative to how much you weigh is top of the line now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's all I focus
on.
Guys
your size aren't lifting what you're lifting. You're probably lifting more than guys a lot bigger than you, actually.
Yeah, it was quite funny, actually. I was doing chin-ups in the gym and some guy was there. He put on 20 kilograms, so 44-pound plate, and he probably weighed 16 stone. So I did the maths in my head, and I was lifting 20 kilograms, 40 odd pounds heavier than him on this lift, and he was one of the biggest guys in the gym, or perceived as the strongest. So it's just so cool to see.
You're doing 110-pound chin-ups, huh?
Yeah, I posted a video up on my Instagram of went swapped a hammer curls just so I could get the plates between my legs, as our gym that they're too big. But yeah, that's one of the biggest transformations. I've never even thought about doing weighted pull-ups and chin-ups. When I started the process, I couldn't even do 5 pull-ups. So
really?
Yeah, because I was probably weighing about 85 to 90 kilograms. So trying to lift that weight when you've got no strength is quite difficult. I actually had to go on the assisted chin-up bar just to build up to do.
This was last summer, or?
Yeah, last summer. So
wow.
August, September time, couldn't even do 5 pull-ups. And
you went from like 9 months ago, you went from doing like not even able to do body weight pull-ups for 5 reps to being able to do 110 pounds for how many? Was that for 1 rep? Or was that for a few?
so the 110 was for 3, and then I hit 100 pounds for, it was 5 most recently,
Damn.
and that's on a cut as well. That's
That's
three
crazy.
and a half weeks into a cut.
So you added 100 pounds to your chin-ups in less than a year.
It's remarkable, honestly. You don't realize by just lifting 3 times a week how strong and refreshed you go into each workout.
Mm-hmm.
I think people sometimes fail to realize this when they're doing their 5 workouts a week, thinking that their muscles have recovered, but their central nervous system hasn't. And so, swapping from doing that lift twice a week on the Greek God program, building up that strength, my lifts just went up and up. It was twice a week I was adding, weight to that bar. It was unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, let's talk about because let's like kind of keep this sort of chronological. Let's talk about your
Yeah.
experiences with because your first goal was to kind of lean down, right? Because you're about 16% body fat. You didn't have any definition. I guess obviously you wanted to put on muscle, but like you really wanted to get the fat off too.
Yeah, so when I first started, I had a holiday coming up and I wasn't following Kinobody. I'd actually come across carb backloading because to me, and to everyone really, I think it makes sense. Oh, have your carbohydrates in the morning for when you need the energy and then taper them down and go to bed lighter. It makes logical sense. And that's what I thought as well. And then from Googling that, I was Googling carb front loading, came across carb backloading by John Kiefer
Mm-hmm.
and read around that subject by him. And it made a lot of sense. So I bought his book, read that, and it just opened my eyes to intermittent fasting and the way carbohydrates behave within the body. And then I started to just take on as much information as possible. And then came across your podcast with you and Chris Walker when you interviewed him.
Mm-hmm.
And just something about that podcast, it resonated with me, the way you were speaking about your lifts, and you just seem like a very sensible, down-to-earth guy. So I just started listening to more and more of your podcast, taking on as much information as possible, and just started following your workout routine. So after that holiday, to just keep it in order, I'd already leaned down slightly, but I wasn't, and nowhere near 10% body fat, anything like that. I'd shaved a bit of water weight off realistically. But then I decided just to focus on getting strong. I wanted to, up until Christmas, just get as strong as hell, because I knew if I leaned down, I wouldn't have any muscle there. So I'd just look quite small. And so I just focused on getting strong up until the January period. And that's why I think I put a lot of the strength on. And then from January started a cut as well on the aggressive fat loss.
And how did the cut go?
The cut went really well. I mean, I started it probably way too soon. I always overestimate how long something will take. And it's crazy because I've restarted aggressive fat loss just for this weekend away I've got. And in 3 weeks, I've taken 1.5 inches of my waist
That's
back.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's indicative of about 8 pounds of fat loss in 3 weeks.
yeah. Yeah. So I went from, what was it, 84.5 kilograms down to 79
In how long?
in 3 weeks. I mean, granted, a lot of that
Wow.
initially was water weight because I've been,
That's like 12,
bulking.
13 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, it's correct. And it just shows how effective this program is.
And were you really hungry during that?
No, I think I battle with hunger even when I'm bulking or cutting, I'm hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just being able to manage that, realizing little tricks. I mean, you're drinking the sparkling water there, and that helps. Yeah, that helps a hell of a lot. And the little, fruit snacking, just little tricks you pick up on the way, and it's not realizing that you have to do these things. It's just as and when you might get a bit of hunger, these little things can help. And black coffee, of course.
Yeah, black coffee is the shit. So you actually did the aggressive fat loss in January, then you leaned down to when did you finally hit 8% body fat? Was that back?
So no, that was in May. So May this year. So those photos that I'm sure you'll put up, that's me. I was actually 2 weeks into a holiday, so I wasn't even tracking calories there. I was away with my family. And so, tans probably played a part, and, just done a little bit of a workout. But yeah, I'd hit as lean as I wanted to go in that eight. I was, ballparking 8% body fat, but I wasn't measuring that. That's just what I was estimating. But yeah, lower ab veins.
Yeah, no, 8% body fat's legit. Yeah, you got the full ab veins. So for
Yeah.
sure.
But even during that time, I was seeing this girl, and she was, every time I was, trying to lean down, she was like, "Oh, I want to get rid of your abs, get rid of your abs." So I'd be there, eating sort of a pint of ice cream after a boozy night out with her. And so that was for a good couple of months I was doing that. So I only really dialed in the aggressive fat loss program. It was maybe for 6-7 weeks. So I was able to go from 11% maybe down to 8% in no time at all, and it was just so easy. I think people try and overcomplicate it.
For sure, I completely agree there. So what are some of the problems that you see? Because actually there's people that are doing aggressive fat loss. That's at kinobody.com/AFL. There's a Facebook group for people going through it, and you see a lot of amazing testimonials and transformations. But there's also people that have inquiring about all these different issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, what advice do you have? And
Well,
what problems do you see that people tend to overcomplicate things or mess up?
yeah. So firstly, I just like to thank everyone for the support on that group. I put my transformation pictures up. It was my brother actually who said to put them up. I was umming and ahhing, thinking, "Oh, I'm not in the shape I want to be to put them up." I think if you're trying to chase perfection, you're never going to be where you want to be. So I just like, "Oh, screw it, I'll put them up," and the response is unbelievable. And I always thought, if I could help or inspire one person, that'd be amazing. But people have been private messaging me from the group, asking me questions, and yeah, the response has been awesome, and I'm happy to help everyone. But the main problems I see, I think people try and overcomplicate the whole program. So they'll get too bogged down in the minutiae or the little details. And that often hinders things. You need to look at the overall big picture and try not to get everything confused, because you will get confused if you try and listen to too many sources of opinions. That ripped guy down at the gym, or that guy on YouTube who's probably on steroids doing his high pump workouts. Or then even you might see an athlete that you like, and they'll post his workout routine, which is specific for a professional athlete, and it's not going to be relevant for you. And I think you've just got to trust in this course. And I think it's quite difficult when you first read it to think, God, I only need to work out 3 times a week, no cardio, and just monitor my food intake, eat less than I'm burning, and I'll lose fat. And it's as simple as that. So whether you're working out in the morning or the afternoon, having BCAAs before that training, it's not going to make the blind bit of difference. I think people need to realize that the 1%, that little bit extra, isn't going to make a difference if you haven't got the basics dialed in. That 1% is for those people who need it. So like yourself, you need everything just to help try and get you stronger. It might be relevant for you. I know you're not particularly fond of it, but it's not relevant for people just starting out on the program. I think you need to just start it and see where it goes and adjust accordingly. And not everything that's worked for you, not everything that's worked for me is going to work for that person. And it's just playing with it, seeing how your body responds. I think that's the biggest takeaway from it all, really, just learning your body. And it's been a huge learning curve for me, understanding, what I work off better. I prefer high fats during the day and save all my carbs for night. It's
Mhm.
just the way I like to do things. And it's just from experimenting that I've learned that. So I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. Yeah. What do you see mainly from people?
Well, that's very powerful. That's a huge thing. People always want to overcomplicate everything. They'll ask questions that really are not yet, that aren't really that relevant. And like you said, they get so bogged down in learning from multiple different sources. It's important when you're doing a program to really just zone in on that program, put the blinders on, and just do it. And then don't worry about what everyone else is saying. Worry about your own journey, your own progress. And if it's going well, it's going well. And yeah, everyone wants to have everything perfect and like a little bit of this and that. It's like, dude, it's really
Yeah.
simple. Okay, get stronger, eat a deficit, and just keep going and make it as enjoyable as possible. So yeah, people get so convoluted with everything, and sometimes they want to take it more extreme. They want to do more cardio, more this and that, and that's when they see that plateau.
Yeah, definitely. Or people wanting to extend that fast. So, or getting too focused on that fasting window.
Hmm.
All you're trying to do is push your first meal later in the day.
Right.
That's it. I mean, yeah, there are great hormonal benefits to intermittent fasting. Increased fat oxidation. You've got increase in growth hormone, testosterone. But the main purpose of it is just to allow you to eat more food in 2 meals
Hmm.
rather than spreading it, eating your typical 3 4 5 meals a day of small portions. The idea, you're full, you go to bed happy, and that's the best thing about it. And I think people read different sources. They might read, Brad Pilon, Eat Stop Eat, and think, oh, a 24-hour fast is good, and throw that on top of a daily intermittent fast, and you're just going to put too much stress on your body. It's not going to work.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, so I think you've really got to just focus on, as you said, sticking to that program, not getting too worried about, oh, I've gone 14 hours without eating, but I'm really hungry. Should I really wait to the 16th hour? Or, trying to push it longer. Oh, I'm not really hungry, but should I eat now? And
Mhm.
it's just learning about that and realizing, no, I'm just trying to push my first meal in the day later. And that's it. It's quite simple, really, I find.
Mhm. Were there any struggles along the way that you roadblocks as far as leaning down?
So I think there are always weeks when you don't lose weight, and it's just being able to trust in the system. I found the best thing is measuring my waist, taking my measurements, and you can see how your body responds. I mean, mine tends to chuck off some weight, and then the next day the waist measurement will go down. And it's just learning that and realizing that if you go a week without your waist measurement going down, it doesn't matter.
Mhm.
It will go down. Don't try and lower calories to try and overcompensate for it. If you're sticking to your numbers and you're not overeating, it's just your body holding on to water and the rest of it.
Yeah,
I
I mean, yeah, no, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just going to say that I had that. I was holding on to a lot of water for maybe 2 weeks, and then had a massive refeed meal of carbs. The next day, it was looking in the mirror as a whole different person. It just, the whoosh effect of all that water going. And so I wasn't really holding fat, it was just water I was holding. So I think it's something for people to bear in mind, that you're not stalling. You just have weeks where it doesn't seem to be working for you. But
Yeah,
trust me, it is.
yeah, like if you're already eating at like a good deficit, like let's say 180-pound male, you're eating 2,000 calories. If you're not leaning down at 2,000 calories, there's something else going on.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, either you're not hitting your calories right, um, or or there's just some issue, and then the worst thing you can do is go lower, drop down. Because if you can't lean down on 2,000 calories, a 180-pound dude, even a 170-pound dude, then man, like you got to fix something. You got to spend some time eating more, bringing up your metabolism, up regulating, like that metabolic function, or or you're just not hitting the calories, because then,
Yeah.
that's just a huge issue.
Yeah, and I think people maybe spend a lot of time, so they'll go 2 weeks without leaning down, and then they'll think, oh, maybe I need to go and eat at maintenance because, I've screwed up my body, I've screwed up my metabolism. You haven't. You just haven't. You need to just carry on as you are. Just because you spent 2 weeks without any real weight loss doesn't mean you're metabolically deranged.
Mm-hmm.
It just means your body doesn't like to change. It doesn't like to gain weight, it doesn't like to lose weight. So it does everything in its power to hold on to that weight. And so you just need to keep on chipping away. It's a slow process. It's not, I mean, I've experienced really quick progress when I came back onto the aggressive fat loss just to lean down for a holiday. But I've got it dialed in. I know exactly what my calories are, my maintenance calories, and I've been doing it for what I think is a long time relative to me and following any other diet. But if you're brand new to it, as you said, you've just got to stick to it and trust in it.
Mm-hmm. That's well said. Let's shift gears a bit. Talk
Yeah.
about like you built a ton of strength. Do you have any tips people that are struggling to gain strength?
I think you've got to focus on hitting those 4 to 6 reps. So a lot of the time when I was trying to get stronger, I'd get too cocky about what I could lift.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd go and lift more, and I'd only end up hitting maybe 2 or 3 reps the next week. And it's not really doing much. Yeah, you're improving, the firing in your muscles, but you're not really improving the strength, and you're not triggering muscle growth when you're in that low reps.
Mm-hmm.
So I really think you need to try and get between those 4 and 6 reps, get strong on that first set, put everything into it. So when you're only lifting 3 days a week, you're so refreshed when you go into that gym, and every time you go to lift, it just feels so easy. You can put everything behind it, and if you put everything behind it, then you should be able to get stronger. And I see, my training partner, for example, he is often scared of the weight. So if I'm not there spotting him, he will lift less than what I know he's capable of.
Mm.
And so I think you've got to trust in yourself. And one thing this program has taught me is I know each and every week really now just how much I'm going to lift on that session. So I know whether that weight's going to go up, and I know that I'm not going to get stuck underneath the bar because I lifted it last week, and I've eaten, plenty of food to support muscle growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's tracking your lifts is one of the most important things, I would say. If you're having trouble building strength, spend time working out what you're lifting, and then you can see patterns emerging. Then you can see, maybe I wasn't eating enough to increase the weight, or maybe my sleep's crap, maybe I'm only sleeping 4 hours a night, or I'm not drinking enough water in the day. It's those sorts of things that you start to realize when you start tracking your lifts. And I didn't used to. It's only since the turn of the year that I've really started tracking my lifts. Before that, I'd go in, I'd forget what I've been lifting on. Maybe when it came to the 4th or 5th exercise, I'd have forgotten what I was lifting last week and just have to guess, and inevitably I'd end up lifting exactly the same weight as I did the week before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just simple things like that, so just jotting it down in your phone in the notes, or taking a notepad, whatever. No one cares, just have it there, and you'll be able to progress much quicker than you ever thought even possible. It's not until someone tells you that you can put 5 pounds on a bench press lift, once every 2 weeks or once a week. It's not until someone tells you that's possible that you then go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you just spend this whole time just lifting the same weight, thinking, oh, maybe I can increase the weight now, and it's been a month you've been lifting the same weight. So I think that's the most powerful thing, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I like that. And yeah, not being scared of the weight. You can't let the weight overwhelm you. You gotta own the weight, man. Like
Yeah.
even if I don't have a spotter, I'm gonna push it like 99%, I'll go to the point where I know Like, let's say I'm doing my 5th rep. I'm like, I can get the 6th rep. I'll do the 6th. If I'm like, I probably won't get 7th, I'll stop.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
but if I know for sure, if I'm gonna tell myself I can get the 6th, I'm gonna get the 6th. Not even a
Yeah.
question.
I think what's interesting, if you go in with a number in your mind, you hit that number. If you know you're hitting 6 reps, say you've hit 4 or 5 and you know you can hit 6, you say, I'm going to hit 6 reps. You'll hit 6 reps. Whereas if you're, maybe I'll get 6, you won't. Or it's even on the next set, you know, you've got, say, going 6, 8, 10 reps for the next 2 sets. You'll hit those numbers if you're telling yourself that's what you've got to hit. It's when you're not sure about what weight you should be lifting for the reps. That's when you maybe hit the same number of reps again. You've got to be sure in yourself.
Yeah, you have
And
that conviction for sure.
yeah, and it's leaving the ego aside when you go into the gym. And form is so important, and especially with reverse pyramid training, you're lifting heavy. It's dangerous if you're lifting with bad form in 4 reps. And form will keep you stronger. By having good form when you're doing the reps, you're going to be building the right muscle. You're not going to be damaging your ligaments. And I think that's a very important thing. Get form dialed in, and then you will start progressing through. Because often you'll stall because of your form, not because of your strength. So yeah, I think that's pretty important.
Yeah. That's a really important thing, because like obviously in my courses I explain the whole concepts behind the program, why it's going to work, why people didn't make results before, and I outline the program and how to go through it. But form is something people have to a lot of times figure out on their own. Get a personal trainer, watch tutorials, make sure you're benching properly, shoulders back, chest up.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest things for me. I never even thought about having to arch your back for a bench, and when I first saw it, it looked wrong. And people come up to me in the gym and question why I'm arching my back. And you can't say anything. They believe what they want to believe. But if you're doing it correctly, that's all that matters. And if someone asks you and then they do seem like they're taking a genuine interest, then by all means help them. But often they're just trying to get their point across and their way of thinking. But you know that you've got it right, and you're not trying to injure yourself
But when you're benching like 300 pounds for reps, no one really is telling you you're doing it wrong.
No, I'm not quite there yet, Greg.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think my pushes seem to be the weakest. Like all of my pulling exercises,
You're hitting 200 for 5 on incline, right?
Yeah. So
That's solid.
So I'm getting up towards 225 now on incline.
Yeah, that's strong. Yeah.
Yeah, compared to where I was, compared to when you're can't even put 45s on and do an incline, to now being able to nearly double plate, that is pretty cool. Because
How much do you weigh in pounds, do you know?
So I am my leanest I was about 165, and now I'm let me just
Wait, how
work
tall
it
are
out.
you?
So I'm just under 6 foot. So
Okay.
I'm 5'11". I like to say with high heels on I'll be 6 foot, but no, I'm not. I'm 5'11 and a half at a push. So yeah, and then I'm probably now, so I'm 80 kilograms now, or 78 kilograms, so about 177, 175,
Yeah.
something like that. So, but I'm happy with my weight at the moment. I think I've just got to, after this holiday, focus on getting stronger, and then then I'll hopefully be up at your level within a year. That's
So
the aim.
so your goal going forward is to put on strength and muscle, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm happy with my leanness at the moment. Got my waist is about 32, and I've got a few days left of this cut. But to be honest with you, I've been trying to lean down, and this is the beauty of this aggressive fat loss course, is that whilst I've been on a cut, I've been going out having drinks with my friends. I've been, going out for dinners, and it's just, if you know what you're doing and you know how to eat during the day, then you can go out at night and do all that stuff. You can go out drinking with your friends, and as long as you're sensible about it. I mean, the worst thing about a diet is it's avoiding alcohol. I did that. So when I first started trying to lean down before Kinobody, I gave up alcohol for about 6 weeks. It was awful. It was honestly one of the worst periods of my life, because me and my friends, we all like a drink. I mean, everyone does. And being that guy who's there sipping on soda water while everyone's, getting drunk and having a good time, it's not the one. So
Hmm.
the magic of being able to lean down whilst going out and doing that, it's incredible. And I'll never go back to the traditional way of eating again. I'm never going to eat breakfast again.
Hell yeah, dude. I love it. Yeah. No, I,
Yeah,
I I enjoy my drinking too, but I just don't overdo it, you know?
no,
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Everything in moderation.
Mhm.
And it's just being sensible about what you drink. And, my friends, sometimes they'll give me a hard time for, drinking a vodka and soda. But if I can go and have more of those, and then say if I was having a pint of cider or a couple of ciders or beer or whatever, having to have less of them, I'd rather have more drinks and keep in with the rounds, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
than,
Would you rather have 2 beers or 4 vodka sodas?
yeah, exactly. It's a no-brainer for me.
Mhm.
And you've just got to ride the rough of the smooth. I mean, your friends, they'll give you some stick, but they don't care really. At
Mhm.
the end of the day, I think one of the hardest things for me has actually been probably with my friends, because people don't like change, and whether that's with themselves or with other people just inherently don't like change. And so if you're there changing, that it makes them maybe question their own internal belief system. And especially if you're there saying I can do it off 3 days a week, they don't want to believe it.
Mhm.
They like to tell themselves that you're in the gym every single day. My friends think I'm in the gym every day, and I tell them I'm not. I'm there 3 days a week, and they just won't really believe it. And even if I'm on a bulk, so I'm following Greek god, they'll turn around and say, "Oh, you shouldn't be eating that. You can't eat that."
Mhm.
And it's just out of jest, and it doesn't mean anything. But it's just people's understanding of what getting in shape it actually is. And you don't have to be a guy living in the gym, not drinking, eating broccoli and chicken all day every day. You can enjoy your favorite meals and drink alcohol, and realistically not even go to the gym that much. I mean, I
Yeah.
know you're going, what, twice a week sometimes, aren't you?
Yeah. Twice a week.
Yeah, I've started to do it occasionally. So sometimes, I won't feel like I've got the energy. Sometimes on a cut, I've just got that feeling that that workout won't be very good. And so rather than trying to force my way through it, I'll, either just get up and leave the gym knowing that it wasn't not going to be a good workout, or I just won't go at all, knowing that it's not going to affect anything in the long run. That, you can get by, you can maintain muscle off 2 workouts a week, no problem. I think you're just a slightly more advanced than me, so you holding onto a muscle is a lot easier.
Mhm. Well, no, it's funny what you just mentioned about your friends and stuff wanting to believe you're in the gym every day, you can't eat this and that. And I think maybe it's because, like, to them, it's like, oh, you know what? I would rather just be able to enjoy my ice cream and be able to enjoy my drinks and be able to enjoy my own life than have to live in the gym and never be able to eat ice cream or drink alcohol again. So therefore, I'm going to be in average shape because I don't want to sacrifice what it takes to get in amazing shape. But then they see you, whoa, this guy, he's only in the gym 3 days a week. He eats like us normally. He eats more than us. He drinks too, and he's in amazing shape. No, that's not possible, because if that's possible, then why wouldn't I do it?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
yeah, a couple of friends who haven't seen me in a while have asked me if I'm on, if I'm taking steroids, just because they can't believe the transformation. It's like, I can be any more anti that sort of thing. But it's just incredible what people's perceptions are, that they think it requires all this hard work. And I think people would rather tell themselves, as you're sort of touching on it, people would rather tell themselves that it takes 5 days a week and
Mhm.
this insane commitment, because then they've got an excuse not to commit to it. They say, oh, I've got work commitments, I've got other social commitments. I can't train 5 days a week, therefore I can't be in shape. What if they don't want to actually realize that it's only 3 days a week, because then they don't have an excuse to fail. I can't remember the last time I wasn't able to make it to the gym, complete my sets of workouts, because 3 days a week is just so easy to do. 5 days a week. I love lifting. I absolutely love it. I fall in love with the whole process, but I don't want to be in the gym 5 days a week at all. I can't think of anything worse, to be honest with you, than grinding out reps every single day. But going 3 times a week, it's incredible. It just makes it so easy. And and they'll just find little things to pick on, that like having small legs in comparison, and when I'm there pistol squatting, half my body weight, it just doesn't add up really. So you've just got to ignore it, and they're just having a laugh at your expense. But I think you've just got to ride it really. It's just friends taking the mickey out of each other at the end of the day.
I think this is just last weekend, and like, actually my legs are actually they're fine. Like, they're proportionate. They're not huge compared to like bodybuilder standards, but I don't like having the big, bulky legs that chafe together. Like, my legs are on the verge of chafing, but they're not, which is great, and they fit well in pants. And so actually, there's this one girl, and this is on the weekend. She's like, you have this amazing upper body, but I feel like your legs are slim. I was like, yeah, I have to I only have so much room for my dick.
Brilliant.
And she was dying. She's like, oh my God.
Bet she loved it.
Oh yeah. Awesome podcast today.
Yeah.
So the 2 courses that you were following was, the one was the Greek God program, thoroughly building strength and muscle at GreekGodprogram.com. And people that are curious, they can check that out. And then to really lean down and drop down 8% body fat, you did the aggressive fat loss at kinobody.com/AFL, aggressive fat loss. Are there any final points or things that you wanted to leave the listeners with?
So I think the main thing, as I've said, and I'll keep repeating it, is just following the programs and take a realistic look at yourself as to what program you need to follow. Because I see a lot of people wanting to start the aggressive fat loss program when they're already pretty lean, or they're not carrying any muscle. And going on an aggressive fat loss program, whilst you think you might have a bit of stomach fat, if you get really lean, you're going to have no muscle to support it. You're going to look a lot smaller than you want to. And I think often people need to build muscle first before they lean down, and just accept that you're going to, have a bit more fat on you for 6 months. But when you come to lean down, my God, you'll look so much better for it. The difference will be night and day. Whereas if you're just lean down straight from the off. And I know you have your little survey that people can take before signing up to a course. And I really would take that. And I really would look at the answer and look at yourself honestly. I still do it. I still question whether I should be bulking or cutting. Everyone does it. It's very hard to take an objective view. So if you don't have that available to you, ask a friend, ask them, ask your gym buddy what they think that you need to do, whether you should be leaning down or bulking, and they'll give you an honest answer if they're a good friend.
I think there was one person in that Project B Trip group, and I thought he was kidding, because he was like so lean, like no fat on his body.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He was like super underweight. He was like, "Hey guys, just starting aggressive fat loss, super excited." And people were like, "Dude, you should do the Greek God program." And I was like, I was like thinking, like, is he trolling us right now? He literally was like 120 pounds and just not an ounce of fat. The reason he wasn't having like huge definition was because he didn't have muscle to be defined. You have to have muscle to have definition.
Yeah, and people
just flat.
Yeah, people are chasing abs, aren't they? People want abs, and they'll lean down. They'll be lean. They'll be under 10%, but they won't have abs
because it's a muscle.
They don't have any strength. They don't have, they can't do deadlifts or squats and get that core. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I don't train abs. You know, I'll train them when I remember, once a month or something, and that's pretty cool. And I know a lot of people aren't that fortunate, but you need to have strength to be able to show definition. You're not going to otherwise. You're just going to look small. And so, yeah, take that survey, realize what you need to do, and take an objective look at yourself. And if it means being slightly fatter than you want to be for 6 months, a year, till you get some strength, so be it. Just accept it and follow through with the program, and that's it really. And if people, I'm more than happy to answer anyone's questions. As I said, if I thought I could, help or inspire like one person at the beginning of this process, I'd be amazed. And so if you do have any questions, you can either get me on Facebook or, get me on Instagram and ask me on there, send me a private message.
People listening.
So my Instagram is Asher_Bales. So ASHER_BAILS. So
Okay.
it's just sort of play on my name. That's it there. Yeah. So I'm trying to be a bit more proactive with it. Started uploading a lot more stuff. Just I was useless at it before, to be honest. I didn't really do it. But I've got a lot of stuff that I'm, going into the gym, asking people to record me, just seeing where I am. And the response on there has been awesome as well. People asking me questions about what programs they should go on. And I'm happy to answer all those questions. Yeah. So feel free to get me on Instagram. It's probably the one I'm quickest to respond on, actually. So find me on there. Yeah. And ask away.
Apparently people don't want to do Facebook anymore. They're like,
no.
Over Facebook.
I mean, yeah, I remember when it first came out. I'm a dinosaur. I'm 27, and I remember at uni when it first came out, and I think people are just starting to hate it now, aren't they?
Well, yeah, you know what? I feel like they still use it. Like, I feel like they're like, yeah, I don't go on Facebook. It's like, no, you do. Like,
oh, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Facebook's stats are like most visits of all time, and people are like, no, you don't use Facebook anymore. It's like, yeah, you do.
Yeah, well, they're secretly there on their iPhone.
They don't post their pictures as much on Facebook.
No, that's it. People don't. It's not for that, is it? If any fitness stuff is now Instagram, it's where everyone does it. And I'm not a fan of Twitter.
Me neither. I hate it.
No, yeah, and then but all said and done though, if Facebook. I mean, if you're a member of the Project Beach Ripped, I'm on Project Hollywood as well. If you want to send me a private message from there, go ahead, and I'll be more than happy to do my best. And I might have to refer you over to Greg if I can't answer it, but more than happy to give my penny's worth, really.
That's amazing. That's very sweet. Yeah, awesome gesture. Really appreciate that. And the survey you mentioned was at kinobody.com/survey. It's good to do to figure out what course of action is gonna be best for you. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you enjoyed the episode, make sure to hit the like button below, comment, and let us know what you found most valuable from this episode. What was the main takeaway for you? That way, anyone else that wants to watch the video, they can look at the comments and be like, oh my God, that's a cool tip. That's a cool tip. That would be really cool. And yeah. Thanks so much for coming on, dude.
No problem, Greg. Absolute pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Talk soon.
Cheers all. Bye.
Bye.